Hey guys, DocStorm here again today with you. So today I want to do a little bit different, okay? I'm still going to show you a replay and I'm going to show you how I counter the miner deck so that you guys can be successful as well. And also I'm going to do something different. As I said, I'm going to show you how to be a good miner player. So I'm going to be playing both parts here, okay? But in the beginning I'm going to show you the replay like I always do, and then let's talk a bit about how to counter it first, okay? So one thing about the miner deck is usually they do carry spear goblins, or people that I call pokers, because they want to damage your tower slowly and consistently. So sometimes they bring even like a poison spell along with the miner and goblins. So usually I don't let these opponents chip away my my tower's health. So that's why I play the musketeer. Whether it's royal giant decks or miner decks, it's probably better not to let them chip away at your tower. So here, the only reason why I played the Hog Rider was because my musketeer was going there alone, so I wanted to support her a little bit. Another thing, the reason why you play the elixir collector in the middle is because of that. So both your towers can help defend. And again, the miner is very good at countering your elixir collector. So it's actually not a good thing because they play the elixir collector and they also counter your elixir collector. So it's like a double loss there. So you really have to somehow gain your elixir advantage back. So here again, I don't want to let him chip away. And I'm going to play the Hog Rider because I don't want my musketeer to get wasted by herself alone there. So my Hog Rider there tanks a little bit of the damage. So here my musketeer is doing great. It is damaging the barbarians a bit, so that, as you can see later on, my cannon and my tower will pretty much defend it. So right now, boom, it's a tricky deck. You revealed that he has also a royal giant. So again, my barbs here are to defend the royal giant, and they're going to go for a bit of a counterattack. And then bam, he reveals he has a fireball. So you see here, I'm going to place the elixir collector on top of my other elixir collector. That is because, in a way, I want to bait out his fireball if he has one, because it opens up my barbarians. But at the same time, if he doesn't fireball my two elixir collectors, then that's great. I have my elixir collector there. But again, you see how he's smart. He uses his miner to do it. But again, it's still better for me to play in the middle because both my towers is defending it. So again here, my opponent does the exact same thing. He uses his barbs to counter my hog. So now in the back of my mind, the next time I do it, I'm going to be smart. I'm probably going to assist it with my fireball. You guys know my famous technique there. So again here, I throw my Hog Rider down, and I'm waiting for the barbarians, but they came a little bit late, so I held on to my fireball. So here again, I'm just defending. The best way I find to defend against the miner is actually with low costing troops, like the skeletons that I did there. But sometimes those tricky decks that pull a poison spell, you might need a range character to kind of damage the miner. So in my case, I would use the musketeer. So again, I waited for them to set off the fireball, and then I put my hog down. And again, this time I'm packing my fireball. I'm smart. I learned from the previous gameplays. So we did do some decent damage here. But again, it's a tricky deck. They are ahead because they do have the miner, and they have the potential to gain a lot more elixir than I do. So that's why you have to pressure them in a way so they can't store elixir, because if they do, they get punished. Here, I thought my hog wasn't going to get hit by the fireball, but it still did. That's okay. And again here, I followed it with my fireball. And I knew at this time I need to cycle back to my fireball to win. So here I'm just defending the best I could. And again, it's just a little bit of a lag there. I did not see the miner being played before I played the cannon, or else it would have been closer. The Hog Rider, again, I just send him through to distract the troops that he sent towards me, and also helps me cycle the cards so I can get my fireball back. So again, guys, sometimes you just have to play some cards down to hope and distract them so they don't damage your tower, to help you cycle cards and whatnot. So guys, again, you just have to know what your deck has, what your deck can do, so then you can better plan out what you want to do to counter these players. So again here, why don't we talk a bit about how to play a good miner deck here, okay? So usually miner decks is similar to the one that you've seen my opponent play here. They usually try to chip at your tower. I call these people pokers. So goblins, spear goblins usually are great pokers because they're range, and a lot of times you might be like, oh, you know, it's not going to do too much damage on my tower, so I'm just going to let it slide and save some elixir. But again, that's how they get you, is they keep poking at you to lower the damage of your tower. So with a miner, spear goblins, and say a poison, a fireball, they can actually take out your tower's health throughout the whole period. So you try to eliminate the damage that's done to your tower. Same thing with Royal Giant decks. They try to poke you with the Spear Goblins and with the Royal Giants. So again, guys, do try to defend against those Spear Goblins these days. Don't let them just chip away at your tower. So this deck here is a little bit tricky because they do pack also the Royal Giant. So they really have a lot of character units to kind of damage your tower. So again, you just have to defend the best you can against these. And now a lot of miner decks, they play the elixir collector as well, as because I mentioned before, they try to gain a huge elixir advantage and then they beat you down at the end, because the miner is great at countering all the buildings, so be it your huts or your elixir collectors for 3 elixir. So you really need to protect those buildings with your life, guys. So one easy way to counter the miner to not let it damage your tower especially too much is with low elixir cost troops, like you've seen in my video with skeletons or goblins. But if they pack a poison spell, then you might need things that are a bit of a range and a bit beefier, like archers, musketeers, or baby dragons. Anything you got a little bit of a range and something that can be left over, so you can go for a counterattack and it can be away from the poison preferably. So that would be ideal, okay? And another thing that you might want to do when you're playing a miner deck is they usually only cast the miner once your tower is being distracted. So the best ideal way to play the miner is after you counter your opponent's attack, you have leftover troops, lay a few extra troops there too to push the lane, and as the tower engages your incoming troop, you throw the miner down, because the miner will not be affected by the tower shooting down at it, and it's just going to be free DPSing, so free damaging your tower away, doing some massive damage. So that is how you should be playing the miner. Or what you could do is after counterattack, once your troops kind of progress on over, you send the miner sneakily in to damage their elixir collector, things like that. So the miner is a tricky card. Don't let that smug face get in your way though sometimes, okay? You play him very trickily. So that's pretty much 2 of the best ways I find to play a miner. It's just to gain a huge elixir advantage, either by taking out your opponent's buildings, or you attack their tower while the tower is being distracted. So little ways like that. So that's how you play a successful miner. You want to try to gain a huge elixir advantage and poke at people's towers. So we have to know how to counter these decks, especially if you want to climb higher, because they are more common. So guys, again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned a little bit of how to counter it, and also a little bit of a devil's advocate here, how to use the miner effectively too. So guys, I hope you gained something from these videos, and I'm going to be posting more videos to help everyone out, how to play cards, certain decks that I use. I'm going to try to break down a bit more. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. So again, if you enjoyed this content, please stay tuned for the next one, okay guys? So take care. I'm going to open this chest too. Alright, cannons, that's great. Alright guys, take care.